The effectiveness of the internet has facilitated the global community to form ideas and share resources easily and instantly. Living in a technology-driven world has its perks when we use it to serve us. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am your host, Audrey Williams. Today we look at how technology has weaved itself into transportation and empowering our children to speak up by providing a safe space. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I only way of celebrating it. They say the people them in them come here, you know. But you see when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, but no, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal pants of it, you know.
Medal.
Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
Yeah, I don't know the app to get the updates then.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, May 13, 2022. The government of Jamaica is asserting that it continues to stand behind its submission of Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith as a candidate for the post of Secretary General for the Commonwealth. According to a statement from the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Johnson-Smith will continue to engage in a dignified campaign process with full respect for other candidates and the views of member states. The statement from Jamaica House insists that the country's nomination was put forward in a context where a change of leadership was clearly deemed desirable by member states across regions. It points out that when COVID caused the postponement of the 2020 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, the incumbent Baroness Patricia Scotland was offered an extension of her contract until the next meeting could be convened to decide the appointment of Secretary General for the next 4-year term of office. According to the Office of the Prime Minister, there has not been unanimity for the incumbent Commonwealth Secretary General to retain that post, pointing out that 2 other member states have also put forward candidates. Kenya recently withdrew its candidate, while the Tuvalu nominee, along with Senator Johnson-Smith and Baroness Patricia Scotland, are all expected to be considered for the post. The next Secretary General is to be appointed when the Commonwealth heads meet in Kigali, Rwanda, in the week of June 20. In the meantime, Minister Johnson-Smith has been engaging with high-level leadership across 5 Commonwealth regions, receiving quiet and public expressions of support. Jamaica is now open to flights from the Middle East. The flights to Jamaica will be sold by global airline powerhouse Emirates and routed through the United States and Italy. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett and Emirates Chairman and Chief Executive Sheikh Ahmed Ben Saeed Al Maktoum brokered the historic agreement at the Arabian Travel Market in Dubai on Tuesday. Jamaica's participation in the International Travel Show was part of efforts to open the Middle East and African travel gateways, including securing direct flights to the island. Persons who visited the Jamaica Tourist Board booth during the event, which wrapped up yesterday, got a glimpse of the island's tourism offerings and scenic beauty. Minister Bartlett, meanwhile, will continue the Global Tourism Marketing Blitz until October. Major rehabilitation work is to begin on the Salt Spring Primary and Infant School in St. James following a groundbreaking exercise on Thursday. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, will oversee the construction of a perimeter fence, multipurpose court, and guardhouse with bathroom. The $34 million project also includes the retrofitting of containers, installation of water tanks, upgrading of the canteen and sewerage system, and addressing termite infestation. Stakeholders have welcomed the project, which is being carried out under Phase 2 of the Integrated Community Development Project, designed to provide high-quality education in a caring, inclusive, and enabling environment.
This renovation and upgrade of the school will provide a more child-friendly environment and a facility that our staff and students will be proud of.
It's a big project and a big investment in the Salt Spring community.
Persons suffering from reduced mental wellness will be receiving attention through a special mental wellness program to be launched this year. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says it will build on an already established program launched during the pandemic called Reach Out Rangers.
And will involve collaboration with a wide cross-section of persons and institutions, including the Jamaica Red Cross, school guidance counselors, the Jamaica Psychiatric Association, and the Jamaica Psychological Association.
Dr. Tufton, who made the announcement in Parliament recently, says psychiatrist Dr. Sophia Longmore has been tasked with finalizing the program design. The program seeks to promote better understanding and acceptance of mental illness and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Special attention will be paid to students who are exhibiting deviant behavior in schools.
And we're going to thirdly mobilize an army of Jamaicans dubbed holistic health officers who are trained or to be trained in psychosocial support techniques for community and institutional interventions to assist Jamaicans who may just need to be heard.
The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation has pledged its support for the creation of gardens and green spaces in urban areas. Minister without portfolio Senator Matthew Samuda says the funds will be identified and, where possible, land allocated to support the thrust. The minister was speaking at a recent ribbon cutting for the expanded Eden Garden Eco Village in Hannahtown, Kingston. $37,200 was used to enlarge the Eco Garden to 100 by 50 feet. It's a collaboration involving the Maya Foundation, the St. Anne Catholic Church of Hannahtown, and the island's diplomatic corps.
Now these benefits speak for themselves. It is impatient of debate that Jamaica is on the front line of the climate change fight. Anything that deals with, or any program rather, that deals with carbon sequestration, that deals with urban greening, is something that the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is indeed minded to support. This is a sort of project that brings and breathes life back into communities.
And finally, a call is once again being made for increased public-private partnership in tackling climate change. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda, made the call during the recent closing ceremony of a two-day Uncut Conversations on Climate Change forum.
Public funds are simply not enough to address the adversity of climate change. Therefore, we need financing from all available sources, public, private, domestic, and international, if we truly want to transition to low carbon and climate resilience.
Jamaica marks its 5th year of ratifying the Paris Agreement, which sees signatories committing to limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Minister Samuda says the country plans to capitalize on its membership by accessing funds for climate adaptation. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The innovation in technology is ever-changing. The concept behind many modifications is to make life easier. Let's look at how one app, through a partnership between EduFocal and the Transport Authority, is providing users with ways to maneuver the road codes safely.
Innovations in transportation technology are at an unparalleled high, with creative solutions being crafted to help us get from one point to the next, but using efficiency, ease, and safety for propulsion. These transportation technologies are ranging from autonomous vehicles to a switch from gas gulping to electric cars, or using technologies such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and mobile apps to enhance the driver's experience. Here in Jamaica, as we push to join in on this global move, we've launched our very own online training app for public passenger vehicle or PPV operators, dubbed the TA PPV Train app.
EduFocal has partnered with the Transport Authority and BCIC to create the TA PPV Train Learning app. Now, what this does is it came as a direct response to the COVID pandemic, because before, the PPV operators were accustomed to doing their classes in a face-to-face setting. So there was a direct need now to bring the training to them virtually. And so that is where this whole partnership came into being, where we created the content, put it in a virtual format, also put it on the platform so that it would be readily available to the PPV operators for them to be able to, continue upskilling and reskilling.
The app is being used to facilitate PPV drivers training in the use of the road code, defensive driving, and customer service by way of a gamified format. But the features are far more futuristic and trailblazing.
We took a simple, sophisticated approach when designing this app. We wanted to make sure that everything that they need is available to them. So it would be as simple as them just logging in to the portal. They just log on to the app domain, tappvtrain.com. They'll be prompted to enter their username, which is their TRN, and their password would be the receipt number that they'd get from Transport Authority. So when they pay for the course, they go to Transport Authority and pay for the course, they receive a receipt number that would serve as their password or their access pass to the app. Once they log in, all the courses are there. It's a series of 4 courses spanning delivering quality customer service, maintaining professionalism, defensive driving, and there's also a module there that seeks to inform them about the roles and the functions of the Transport Authority.
And here's possibly the best part for PPV drivers using this app. It's completely zero rated.
So what that means is on all mobile networks, whichever mobile network you receive service from, you'd be able to access the platform without even having data on your phone, without even having to have service on your phone. So, I mean, that is one of the things that makes this app so revolutionary in terms of it being fully accessible, because we have to consider persons living in areas where there might be challenges accessing internet, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a fair chance to be able to access the information.
And the security plan for your data was a strategically thought out one.
The data is stored on our servers that are encrypted, and we have taken stringent cyber protection and privacy measures to ensure that we have secured ourselves and secured our users' data from any potential attack.
Engagement has been hitting an all-time high, with more and more PPV drivers signing on to this revolutionary idea.
Prior to launch, we had a beta test control group who viewed the content, and the feedback was really overwhelming and great. So what is happening now is we are in the process of onboarding a little bit over 2,000 PPV operators now to serve as our first cohorts.
This $13 million game changer for our transportation industry represents the Ministry of Transport's push to use technology to improve and strengthen its operations. By March of this year, all drivers and conductors will be able to fully unlock its functions right from their iOS and Android-powered devices.
Have you ever felt violated or offended, but were afraid to speak up about it? Well, children victims tangled in situations like these often become silent. But the Victim Services Division of the Ministry of Justice has been using technology and animation to provide psychosocial support to these youngsters.
Children sometimes see too much. At other times, they hear too much. And many of them feel too much. There are situations where children become victims of crimes, seeing, hearing, and feeling too much of its effect. The hurt and trauma can linger without the proper intervention strategies. This is where government's Victim Services Division comes in. The VSD is having a far-reaching and sweeping impact as it provides help to this vulnerable group.
Victim Services Division is that division within the Ministry of Justice, which is responsible for coordinating the ministry's support base for victims of crime. Anyone can become a victim of a crime. Victims of crime are often persons who suffer just about any crime you imagine. There are sexual crimes, small children, there is robbery, there is murder, wherein the primary victim, though, has deceased. The secondary victim, which is the family members, are there for the support that we give. We recognize that our victim population was getting younger. Whilst we still would have to communicate with them some of the complex concepts that are a part of the therapeutic process. Hence, we needed to find a medium that will allow for us to use their type of language, colors and sounds and movement.
Well, that medium the ministry found was the use of an animation bundle. It is comprised of 8 short films that offer therapeutic intervention and lessons to children who are victims of crime.
Your daughter was almost abducted today, but she was smart. She ran away. However, there is more she could have done. Walking with headphones on is a dangerous habit. You must be alert. Pay attention to your surroundings and the dangers around you.
Our animation strategy involves the creation of a character called Justy. And Justy represents all that is good and right about what should be done when a child is faced with a difficulty. A child seeing the animation immediately will be able to interact. They are short animation films, so the attention span of the child is not hampered in any way. And our intent is not just for them to watch Justy, but to become and to embody the teachings, the values of Justy in order to help other children.
I have not left the house in over 3 weeks. I came here to work as a helper, and now he tells me that I'm going to work at a nightclub.
Put these on and get ready. We're leaving for the nightclub in half an hour.
Anyone can be trafficked. It does not matter your age, gender, or race.
We also ensure that we would have elected to choose specific topics which were current and will remain current. Abduction is a reality. The matter of being bullied is a reality. Human trafficked is another reality, and among others. There are 8 animation films. And these are current, we have seen over time. We have had the opportunity to have children literally vet the animations, and we are very comfortable that they have the content that will reflect concerns that children would want to share with their friends.
But why was the Victim Services Division so sure that these animated videos would have or will even continue to pull the required effect?
The process of developing an intervention involves doing an assessment. We would have had the benefit of, over the last 20 years, 200,000 victims that we would have been able to assess. We would have had clear understanding of what needs to be done to provide support for the victims of crime, hence the program VSD. What we did was to use that 20 years of experience. We have a cadre of trained social workers, psychologists, various levels of competencies to work with children. And we have just managed to package this entire expertise into 8 animations. I am absolutely confident that they have what it takes to make a difference.
So even in all the challenges, the Victim Services Division is working to provide psychosocial support for victims of crime. The division is committing its unit to the advancement of victim rights, including those of our children. And your role can be as simple as speaking up.
Jamaicans consume on average 9 to 12 grams of sodium or salt per day, twice the World Health Organization recommended amount of less than 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt, and more ideally, less than 2 grams of sodium per adult per day from all food sources. This excess salt in the diet causes high blood pressure, kidney and bone damage, gastric cancer, obesity, and worsening of asthma. Reduce the amount of salt you consume to no more than 3 to 5 grams, or half to 1 teaspoon per day for adults, and less than 2 grams for children under 11 years of age. Let's shake the salt habit and live healthy. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service.
Parents are the primary socialization group in fostering children's developmental growth. So, the National Parenting Support Commission has created tools to assist parents in raising their children.
Wouldn't it be great if children came into the world so well adjusted or with manuals, therefore eliminating the need for parental discipline? This is not the case, however. Parents usually apply their methods or they depend on strategies taught throughout generations to guide their children.
8 in 10 Jamaican children in the 2 to 14 years age group experience violence as a form of discipline.
Coercive parenting involves the physical administration of pain as punishment. It also includes the use of harsh language that has the potential to hurt children's feelings and affect their general self-esteem and development. It also fosters aggression, because what you're really teaching children is that when there is an issue, we must resolve the issue through harshness, through aggression, through coarse language. There's a direct correlation between coercive parenting and the aggression that we see actually in society.
Damaging disciplinary practices have moved outside of the home and into the national consciousness.
The time has come for the Parliament to have a debate on this issue and finally declare corporal punishment at an end, both within public institutions and as a means of discipline available to parents. I think it would be a forward-leaning step in making a stance against violence generally, and it would send a powerful message about the state respecting the inviolability of the person, whether or not that person is a child or an adult.
Children need guidance, and many wonder if not with the rod, then how? Enter the National Parenting Support Commission, NPSC, an agency of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. The ministry established the commission in 2012 to provide parents with the requisite skills and tools to raise children.
We work at 3 tiers. We work at home, school, and community. Our first and most important priority, however, is to ensure that we're fostering the home-school relationship. We must ensure that parents as key stakeholders feel involved in the entire process of educating their children.
Now, to do this, the Commission assists parents in several ways, including providing psychosocial support, assisting parents with understanding the teaching-learning process, and conducting parenting education programs.
Through our effective parenting courses, we push proactive strategies. In other words, you are going to put structures in place before behaviors that you don't desire actually show.
Parents and guardians should consider the child's developmental stage when determining the best method of guidance.
A child who is very young, we encourage play. The child must be playing, and even the teaching learning processes must include play, because this is how they develop their imagination, their creative skills. This is how they also learn to resolve issues and to problem solve.
Young children, especially infants, are at the stage where they don't know right from wrong, and they can be impulsive. They may touch items that are valuable or dangerous. Usually, it is best to remove the child or the object from such a situation.
We don't believe you're to spank any at all, because that's a part of coercive parenting, and we don't believe that coercive parenting works. So what we encourage you to do, though, is to be firm and to be consistent. So if it means you have to say, do this instead, or do not go there a million times, then that's what you have to be prepared to do.
The teenage years can challenge both children and parents. With the physical and chemical changes happening in the body, teens may act out as they may be unsure of their place in the world.
This can be a very difficult time to navigate. So we ask that you start relaxing some of the very stringent rules, and you also have conversations and you compromise.
And to address challenges, caregivers can remove privileges.
If the child becomes stubborn, has a fixed mindset, if you will, that this is what he or she is going to continue to do, then you might need professional help. You might need to call the commission, or you might need to call a social worker or a guidance counselor to help.
Being a proactive parent means setting clear boundaries, letting children know what is acceptable behaviors and why rules are in place. And don't forget to model behaviors you want young ones to display. There may not be a one-size-fits-all for raising children. By assessing the right information and using effective parenting techniques, we can nurture adults willing to play their part in making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. To tap into information from the National Parenting Support Commission, call 876-967-7977 or visit their offices at 37 Arnold Road, Kingston 6.
Living in a technology-driven world means existing where the development of goods and services often comes because of technical abilities instead of proven demand. Simply put, create roads, then seek out cars to travel on them. It is a solution to a problem we didn't know we had. The internet creates access to the windows of many realities without physically moving through an open door. But the question is, how do we make the technology work for us? It's a question that has many roots. Let's start here. Use it to serve you without it becoming your master. Use it to access many communities to enhance their environment. Use it to enter the global market to exchange goods and services. Use it to share positive stories and documentaries. Use it to connect with the world. And most importantly, use it to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. We've come to the end of our program. Get a recap of all you saw here and more on our YouTube channel. Also, feel free to visit our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for news you can use. In the words of Steve Jobs, it's not a faith in technology, it's faith in people. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.